They've won 9 in a row with the victory over the Cubs Tuesday. The Phillies have become the first team in 17 years to win their last 5 games before the All-Star break and their first 5 after it. Bottom third, Jimmy Rollins says, let's get the party started. The Phillies are 21-3 when Rollins scores a run and drives in a run. Solo home run counts. That's a good omen. Rollins 8th. The Cubs fan didn't want to give it up. Bottom 8, 1-1, 1 on, 2 outs. Ryan Howard facing Carlos Mormal. Oh, good game to watch. Let's go top 9, still tied. Runner at first, 1 out. Brad Lidge facing Kosuke Fukudome. Fukudome batting .438 in his last 4 games. Thought he had something there. What happened? Well, the ball deflected off Lidge's foot to Jimmy Rollins for the double play. 1-6-3 DP. We go to extras. Top 10. Chan Ho Park facing Coy Hill with 2 outs. Drive to left. That's going to drop. No, Raul Ibanez is going to drop to his chest to catch it. And look at Park. That's my man. Way to go. Let's go 13th inning. Bottom 13. For what it's worth, 2 on, 2 out. Get out.
In the air to left field. Soriano goes back. That's going to be a game winner. A 3-run home run for Jason Worth.
That came off Jeff Samardzija, and the Phillies win in 13 innings, 4-1. It is their 10th straight win.
On Monday night after Jeff Karstens was hit by a pitch. Top 5 men at the corners, 2 outs, Prince Fielder. The base hit. Craig Counsell scores. Brewers up 1-0. Pirates finally beat the Brewers on Monday for the first time in 18 meetings. In Milwaukee, like, yeah, let's see you do it again. Bottom 7, Brewers up 2-0. Man on first with 1 out. Ramon Vasquez drives it. Mike Cameron, great diving catch. I think we're going to see him later on in the show. Look at the bird. He keeps his concentration despite the bird flying around out there. Top 8, the bird is back and enjoying the ball game. He's moved to the infield now. Ryan Domic's checking him out. Bird walks out in front of the mound, and the umpire finds, all right, really? Can we get the bird out of here? And then Domic's like, I got it. Chases him away. Brewers going to win it 2-0.
Mid-May, they're at Texas. Josh Beckett 6-0 following a Red Sox loss this season, so he's usually money in the bank. Big Texan, but leadoff hitter Ian Kinsler doubles down the left field line, and then he walks Andrew Jones. Beckett had only walked 3 batters in his last 6 starts. Next batter, well, Kinsler and Jones wind up and a double steal there. So you got runners in scoring position for Hank Blaylock, and he singles to right. J.D. Drew, well, he bobbled it. 2 score. And Beckett is down 2, and he's not happy with his performance.
Big 2-run single with 2 outs in.
This one definitely falls on me. I think the right person got the loss. I think it was lost at about 7:30 in the first inning. You know, the 2-out runs, I mean, it's just demoralizing. It's unacceptable.
Yeah, Beckett had allowed 1 earned or fewer in 7 of his last 10 starts, and he gives up 2 in the first. Red Sox, $150 facing Tommy Hunter. Hey, John Kruk, why do they struggle against rookies?
Veteran teams like familiarity. They like to know what the pitcher throws. They like to get patterns on them. They like to figure out, you know, this is what he likes to throw in this count. This is what he likes to throw with men on base. This is what he throws when there's no one on base. And a lot of times when you face a young pitcher who you've never seen before, you don't have all that information. That's what the Boston Red Sox are going through right now.
Yeah, the Red Sox with 4 hits, 1 run against the rookie Hunter, who came in with a .53 ERA in his last 3 starts. But here we are, top 9, Red Sox down 2, tying run at the plate. But C.J. Wilson, you know what team he plays for, Stan?
Shut it down.
Team shut it down. That's right. He gets Jason Varitek to ground out to third. Game over, and the Red Sox, oh, they've lost 4 straight. And let's get back to that rookie theme. Game of the day Monday was this one. What do Minnesota and Oakland do for an encore? Bottom 6, game tied. Orlando Cabrera against Anthony Swarzak and Delman Young. I'll just take it off the wall. Look at Swarzak. Oh, woo! Thank you. Oh, they're in extras. 10. Game still tied. Oh, this was yesterday. Monday, Michael Kadire. Legal flashback. Looked like he was safe. He was called out. A's would win that game 14-13. Snack back to reality.
Oops, there goes gravity.
No, not quite. Kadire off the wall. Joe Mauer is going to score on the play. And the Twins may have given one away and may have had a tie taken away late Monday. They win Tuesday's game in 10, 3-2.
For its last 26 with runners in scoring position until that. Magler Ordonez with the bases loaded grand slam. Ordonez is 5th of the fifth home run of the year, 7th career grand slam. And Garrett Olson, 1 1/3, 7 earned runs. It was 5-1 Tigers at that point. Bottom second, 6-1 Tigers, 2-1 for Ryan Rayburn. Franklin Gutierrez leaps but can't make the catch. 2-run scores, 8-1 Tigers. Gutierrez is down, and here's why. He crashed into the out-of-town scoreboard right there on the Braves-Giants score. No padding there. Left the game with a bruised left elbow, and left knee x-rays were negative. Mariners bullpen, Neil, are you aware of this? They call themselves the Warriors. They bring out helmets and they put them on, put them up before the game.
I can relate to that.
So how would the Warriors do? Bottom of the 6th, they had cut it to 8-6. Sean Kelly, he's the Warriors representative, battling Miguel Cabrera. And Cabrera's like, I got your Warrior right here. He went 3 for 3, his 19th home run. 7 home runs in the game. M's had 4, Detroit had 3. The Tigers had more runs, 9-7.
Well, the White Sox were just 1 game behind the Tigers for the Central lead when the night began. Now, we go top 9, and Bobby Jenks got himself in a pickle the night before, got out of it. Here he's up 2-1, and he gives up the single to Jason Bartlett, and then Evan Longoria is hit by the pitch, and Ben Zobrist singles, bases loaded, nobody out. Next batter, Pat Burrell, and Jenks walks Burrell, and this game is tied, and Ozzy's going, oh, my man, Bobby. And your next batter is Carlos Pena. Sacrifices have to be made, mister. Longoria going to score. Burrell's going to be tagged out trying to go to second, but the Rays take the lead. And the White Sox can't answer in the bottom of the 9th. That's a blown save for Bobby Jenks. And Tampa Bay is going to take it 3-2 is your final.
Win streak, bottom first, scoreless, 2-1 for Manny Ramirez, professional hitman. That'll be good for a 2-run triple off Homer Bailey. Rafael Furcal and Orlando Hudson coming around the score while Johnny Gomes is playing kickball out there in the outfield. It's 2-0 Dodgers at that point. Matt Kemp in the 8-hole for this game. His numbers while batting 8th this season, 528, 2 home runs, 11 RBI, and 59 plate appearances. Update, he's got 3 home runs in the 8-hole now. His 13th of the season overall. Dodgers out to a 4-1 lead. Top third, Reds trailing 4-1. Joey Votto into left center. Manny Ramirez got a slow start on that one, but wound up making what looked like a pretty good catch. Votto shocked. He thought he had something there. Manny flashing some leather. Still in the third. Manny leading off, hit by a pitch, appears to be his left hand.
That pitch was not all that far in off the plate.
Joe Torre and company decided to give him the rest of the night off, went to a local hospital for precautionary x-rays, which were negative, listed as day-to-day. Torre said afterwards, we're very fortunate that it was only a bruise. You don't even want to think about doing it without him again. You remember the 50-game suspension Ramirez had earlier this season. Dodgers win it 12-3. They've won 4 in a row now. Randy Wolf got the job done on the mound, his first home win.
At home against Arizona, told you there'd be a play, leave you feeling mile high. Here it comes. Seth Smith, 8 miles high. Mark Reynolds. Careful, man, there's a beverage here. Take another look, and take it to the little kids right there. Look at the little girl. Oh, my. Then the little guy, he's like, can I get back to my...
Look like he's got a waffle cone.
Yeah, exactly. Can I get back to it, please? That's a TPN, by the way, top play nominee. Oh, is anybody alive out there? Dexter Fowler misplays the Justin Upton fly ball, and 2 score, and 4-1 is now 4-3. Top 7 after Franklin Morales walks the bases full. Stephen Drew singles to right, scores Miguel Montero, and this game is tied. Top 8. Montero against Juan Rincon, and he said he thought he had a double, maybe a triple in the gap there. Well, after that, he's got 4 home runs in his last 7 games, and he's hitting .429 over that stretch. The Diamondbacks, they are winners. 6-5, your final.
Took on the Orioles Tuesday in the Bronx. Alex Rodriguez, with the bases loaded, knocks a curveball off Rich Hill. Cody Ransom and Derek Jeter come in to score. The Yankees take a 3-2 lead. Bottom 4. Robinson Cano stepping in with 1 on and 1 gone. Rich Hill left that one over the plate. Cano put it into the bullpen. Yankees up 5-2 on Cano's 14th of the season. Nick Markakis and Derek Jeter, they were involved several times in this game. Let's go back to the first inning. Jeter at the plate, Markakis in right. And Jeter with a fly ball. And check out the fan reaching over. We've seen this before. Game 1 of the 96 ALCS. Jeter off Armando Benitez to the right field wall. 12-year-old Jeffrey Mayer leans over the wall, takes it away from Tony Tarasco. Jeter gets a home run. Tarasco has a fit. You remember that. We take you back to Tuesday's game. Fan doesn't make the play this time. Markakis makes the catch. And that fan needs to work on his game. Trying to help his Yankees out, but didn't work out. Later in the game, Jeter on third, Mark Teixeira up. He sends one Markakis' way. Jeter will try to tag and score, but he had no luck against Markakis. Markakis nails him, saves a run with his 10th assist of the season. Orioles trailing 6-2, though. Sergio Mitre first starts in September of 2007, elbow surgery, 50-game suspension for a banned substance, but he gets Adam Jones there in the double play. Mitre, 5 2/3, 8 hits, 3 earned runs, 4 strikeouts in his first start for the Yankees.
Doc not on call. Cliff Lee, another former Cy Young Award winner. He's just 1-4 in 8 career starts against the Blue Jays. And bottom 1, Lee helps get Vernon Wells with a 1-6-3 double play. Brett Cecil facing Kelly Shoppick and swing and sway like Sammy K. Cecil, 7 innings, career-high 9 Ks. He left the game with a 1-0 lead, and Scott Downs is trying to protect that lead in the top of the 9th, but after loading the bases, Victor Martinez doubles down the left field line. There goes the lead. It's 2-1 Indians. So we go bottom 9, and Cliff Lee, he says, let's play 9. Alex Rios. Bounce out to second, game over. Lee pitching back-to-back complete games, and the Indians are 2-1 winners.
Angels and Royals, in the words of the immortal Ernie Banks. Let's play 2. Jose Guillen struggling, batting .192 with just 1 home run and 4 RBI in the month of July, and he's conscientious. He says, sometimes I feel I should take money out of my own pocket and buy tickets for every fan, because you know what? For a $12 million man, these are not the numbers you should be expecting. Bottom third, Royals down 4-1. Guillen with the bases loaded, and he delivers, adding value to the fan experience. Royals trailing 4-3. Guillen
2 hits, a walk.
thinking about the recession. Top 7, Royals now trailing 6-5. 1 on. Eric Ibar with the liner. Kendry Morales scores. Angels up 7-5. They win game 1 of the doubleheader 8-5. Ibar 3 hits, 3 runs.
Cloud down there.
You're going to have to shout it out there. Number 9, Indians and Blue Jays. Ben Francisco down the line. Check out the ball boy. And here's the great part about it. He makes the catch, and then he acts like he's been there before. He just gives the ball to the fan, and he's like, what? I'm just doing my job.
That's Bald Dude and Market 8 Dude. Ultimate Frisbee, USA, Japan, and the United States defeats Japan 13-6 to win the gold medal in Ultimate Frisbee. My brother Jim played that when we were young.
Number 7, Marlins and Padres. Cody Ross with the ground ball. Everett Cabrera. He was the last out in that Jonathan Sanchez no-hitter. He doesn't want to be remembered for that. He wants to be remembered for plays like that. And he throws Cody Ross out at first.
All right, let's go Giants-Braves at 6. And Casey Kochman, he brought his adult glove. Steps on the bag, full extension. That's what they call that. We've got more from this game later, so I'm not going to tell you anything else about it.
Braves defense was stellar in that game. I know. I did the highlights earlier. Number 5, Mets and Nationals. David Wright with the fly ball, but it's not about him. It's about Niger Morgan. That's what the Pirates gave away in that trade that sent him to the Nationals.
Brewers Pirates, speaking of Pirates, Ramon Vasquez, fly ball to center. Cammy, Mike Cameron. Look at the bird out there in center field, too. Brady Looper says, my man, Brewers win 2-0.
We promise you more from Giants and Braves. Tell you about the defense in this game. Travis Ishikawa up the middle. Martin Prado also had 3 hits and scored 3 runs in that game, but makes a great flip, and Escobar helps him out. He threw that, jumped at the same time. What a great play.
Phillies on a roll, 10 in a row. Bottom of the 13th, Jason Worth off Jeff Samardzija. Walk this way, 3-run homer, and the Phillies win 4-1 over the Cubbies.
All right, so if that's number 2.
Yeah, one's got to be something else.
Gives your team a 10-game win streak with a walk-off. Then Mark Reynolds is going to have to do something really special here to take number 1, and he did it. That's a play so great. Look at the Rockies fans. Even they had to clap for him, even though he played.